Welcome into the program, everybody. This is Alabama Unfiltered Radio. It is a Wednesday here in the heart of God's country, the 27th day of May in the year of our Lord, 2026. We appreciate you listening, and we hope you've had a good morning, and we hope the last 21 hours have gone well as well for you. I'm here. Big Sky Mountain Mosley is here as well, and Ann Eubank is also here.
You don't have my lights on.
Because they don't point at you; they point at me. You look fantastic. You're right here. See, you're lit up. I have the cameras adjusted so they can see you.
Yeah, but
I don't want to go blind. I'm only looking at 5, 6, 7 monitors.
Yeah. So these lights make you look better.
Yeah, they also make me blinder. But look, I can't afford to look much better. I do not need women lined up out here on the street trying to get in to watch the show. We can't.
Quick comment on that on your feed on YouTube.
Yes.
Let's see. One of the top comments was, he's not near as ugly as he sounds.
That's somewhat nice. Not as nice as it could be, but hey. Yeah. No, the lights bother me. So
They get worse. Okay.
Yeah, we don't want.
I have one of these at home, and I put it.
You
on
like doing it with that? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, look, we are a little darkened, but there's a guy that has a national show. What's his name? Ryan.
Ryan.
Where they're sitting in the couches.
Yeah.
They do theirs kind of dark too. So that's really kind of the model.
Oh, okay.
And I don't need any.
You don't need light.
I don't want to be any brighter.
Yeah, but they have a setting on these that make you look better.
That's what they say when they're selling it to you.
Yeah.
Well.
You have to find the right
I'm
setting.
not doing it. Look, I'm lucky that it is on.
Yeah.
We struggled yesterday, and we're
bad?
okay today so far. Maybe.
I don't want to.
That board went out. That one right there.
Oh no.
Yeah, it wouldn't come on.
No.
So imagine if you come in to fill in and the board doesn't come on.
I would just walk out.
Yeah, and Sky would have to play yesterday's show or something, or do the show on,
I have no
on his
idea.
own.
Today in rock history.
What would happen if we had an auto accident on the way to the show? Would you be doing rock history?
I'd probably start with that. Then I'd break out my news copy that I.
How long does it take for
night.
them to replay yesterday? Because y'all can't just do it like some of the places.
It takes a lot of effort to.
Really?
I don't even want to go and ask.
Oh, it's
Jay
because everything's not all
it's
digitized like it is.
I would just I would wing it. And,
Okay.
We would have the mid-morning chuckle hut for a little while.
That'd be good.
Little rock
I
history.
don't know how you would run the show without that board.
From here, you can't.
You can't do it.
There would be no voice going to them.
We could
I said, I
do a
would just
workaround, but it's just more trouble than it's worth. On the fly, no.
Yeah. What I might do is I might bring I have a different mic, and I could bring a mic and we could run the show purely off this main computer.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't have anything else, but we could have that over there, we had clean feed over there, and then we could have the mic over here. No, we could probably plug into that's what we do. We would just plug the mic into the clean feed computer, and you would just send your audio in, and that'd be it.
Yeah.
Adjust it out.
Yeah, you could do that. Now you wouldn't have Zoom. Well, Zoom would be up over there, but yeah, we could do that. I'll bring a USB mic or see if we have one for an emergency. That would make sense, guys.
Let's do that and test it out.
Yeah.
In case we need it one day, because we will.
That'll be the third backup. But if somebody came in to fill in, they would need something like that. But I used to do the show from my bunker office at Boterra, surrounded in concrete. Terrible.
It was terrible.
I did the show at 101 for years from my house.
Yeah, but it sounds like you're in the bunker.
Well, I don't know if I like you today. You have not had
I
one
told you.
complimentary thing
I told you.
the last couple of days, last 10 minutes.
Sky asked me how I was doing, and I said, my brain is in overdrive.
Well.
There is just too much.
Yeah, you reminded me of that new. Have you seen that new thing where the wife asked the husband, would you prefer that I work on my butt or my abs? And he says, I would just prefer that you be nice to me. And she says, dang, now there's 3 things I got to work on.
I'm not stupid enough to ask my husband that question.
You wouldn't do it, because you don't care. He don't like me anyway.
That's right.
He's probably not stupid enough to answer.
He's not going to answer it.
Yeah, we've been married 50 whatever years. Yeah, no, he knows.
So if you said, hey, do these pants
make
my butt look big?
He would say yes or no.
He would?
Yes, he would. Because he would know that I need honesty from him. Because if they make my butt look big, which
Right.
growing up skinny,
Right.
I like that.
Uh-huh.
So he would say, man, that looks fantastic.
Really? And you're like, oh, see, he's a smart man.
That's a good answer.
What's the one? There's another one where the lady asked something about,
I like that.
oh, I think the dryer is shrinking my clothes. And he says, well, there is an appliance that's shrinking your clothes, but it's not the dryer.
Nope.
It'll be the refrigerator.
And that's the last thing I remember, Doc.
If you're in Alabama, refrigerator starts with an F, right? There's no R-E before.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
One of these days we're going to do the show. I don't know why it made it pop in my head, but we're going to do the show on how Southerners actually, so many of our words are not only from Scottish origins.
I was about to say that.
They are, but a lot of them are from the freaking King James and Geneva Bibles.
Yeah.
We speak more better English.
The accent, the Southern accent, actually developed from the Scottish brogue.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But the saying "you all" and
yonder,
and I know
reckon
is in the
another
Bible. Yeah, absolutely. Fixin', I think, is also Scottish. Though.
Yeah.
Fixin'.
Yeah.
And y'all saw the trend where the lady was explaining goodbye, right?
No.
Goodbye was God be with you, or God be with ye. And you say God be with you fast enough, long enough, and it became God be ye.
Evolved.
And then it became goodbye.
Did not know that.
Cool.
So when you
You've
say,
been studying.
oh, look, I'm a somewhat educated soul.
Yeah.
Somewhat
Somewhat.
educated.
You're as smart as I am. You just don't like people to know it.
No comment on any of that whatsoever. I forgot to put on my commentator's robe, so I've got the maroon T-shirt on today. But it is going to be a very good day. You're
Here
wearing,
come the judge.
I'm wearing
You're wearing the truth.
the truth. 'Cause today, you may get
I
some.
am worried about how today is going to go. Ann is in a special kind of mood.
Ooh.
Yeah. Stay on her good side.
Of the
As
4
long as you can.
different, how many personalities are women supposed to have every month?
I
Is it
have
4?
No idea.
There you go.
You know, if
No,
I'm
There you go, man.
if I'm
Poke
limited
it
to
there.
4, I'm not happy because I got born.
You got more than
I got
4?
more than 4.
See?
Don't limit
It's
me
so
to 4.
good. You know, people don't need therapy. They just need to listen to this program. Speaking of, what do you want to start with today? Elections in Texas? Corn and Paxton?
Let's
story.
do that. Yeah. Paxton won, but the numbers are kind of suspect.
Why?
64-36. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was the one, and I love Paxton. I never have liked Cornyn. But he was the Trump choice. Now, did Trump choose him, and that was the whole thing, or did Trump choose him because he knew he was going to stomp
Trump
Cornyn?
endorsed him week before last.
Yeah,
Is that right?
finally. Yeah.
Yeah, because he knew he was going to win.
Yeah, but he's been trying to get rid of Cornyn for a while.
Yeah, Cornyn's not a good guy.
No,
Cornyn does not help the cause. No doubt about it.
No.
But I will say, look, I have no problem. This show's about honesty. This show's about the truth. This show is not about being in a cult. This show is not about saying Donald Trump's the greatest ever every single moment. When Donald Trump is right and we agree with Trump, we're for Trump. Trump was smart enough to get in front of what the people of America believe in. Yeah. And I said it last week or the week before that Trump does a really good job a bunch of times of saying, oh, Ann's going to win. I endorse Ann. She's the bestest and the most awesomest. And then Ann wins because Ann was going to win. So he says, I'm 1 for 1. Very rarely does he drag them across the finish line kicking and screaming, and they weren't going to win anyway. Sometimes he does, but the Texas race, Paxton was going to win.
Oh, yeah.
And
El Green lost. You know who El Green is?
I do know who El Green is.
The guy who walks with the cane and is constantly bringing up a bill.
Let's take a real quick break, and we'll get that on the other side. We'll be back.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politician.
Welcome back in, everybody. This is Alabama Unfiltered Radio. I'm Scott Beason. Thank you for listening. And Eubank is also with me, Big Sky Mountain Mosley, making sure everything goes well. Interesting story on this. Now, I want everybody to think about how Washington, D.C. works. And I get it. I mean, it's very similar to Montgomery, just Montgomery doesn't have near the money, near the power. I don't think Montgomery's as dark. And if you're way darker and more filled with evil than Montgomery, Washington is a bad place.
The entire city.
The whole place has
built on evil.
It's a dark feeling.
Yeah, it's the whole Freemason demon set out in a pentagram. It's that kind of city.
Definitely had those sorts of undertones. I don't think the founding fathers, and I read you that quote before about, because they're always like, George Washington was a Mason, whatever, where he says something along the lines of, hey, I think there's some really bad people trying to take this whole thing over. Yeah. And I don't know if that was, he didn't necessarily understand what was going before, but it's just, listen to some of this. This is from a Time magazine article. Who wrote this? Let's see. Ken Paxton beats John Cornyn and blows a $250 million hole in Trump's Senate plan. This is by Philip Elliott. Now, Cornyn is not an America First guy, okay? Cornyn's not a solid conservative guy. Cornyn is an incumbent. And in Montgomery, Alabama, we face kind of the same kind of thing. There would be times where we got to get rid of Joe over here. Joe's a terrible vote. Joe, we have to beg Joe to vote with us. And they're like, oh, no, you can't do that. He's an incumbent. We must rally around the incumbents. Don't help a conservative primary challenger beat the incumbent. Scott, are you against the incumbent? And, and if you don't win that, you understand that the incumbent's going to be against you forever. But that's fine. But listen to what this says. It says that, let me see if I can find that sentence again. It says for like over a year and a half that the staff, for more than a year, Republicans beseeched, so this is Republicans in general, beseeched President Donald Trump's advisors in the White House with a simple ask. If he couldn't find his way to endorsing Senator John Cornyn, could he at least keep his mouth shut? It says, of course, he could not. Trump last week, I thought it was 2 weeks ago, endorsed Cornyn's primary opponent in Texas, State Attorney General Ken Paxton. Now, realize he's already the Attorney General of the state, okay? He's been elected statewide more than once.
Right.
He's been elected statewide more than once after coming under controversy of the establishment trying to remove him, and he still won.
Yeah.
On Tuesday, Paxton made it through his contentious, costly runoff and into the general election. Senate Republicans spent $90 million defending their amiable colleague and sinking the scandal-soaked Paxton. They failed, which means the United States Senate PAC, or whatever they call the thing, the Senate, what is it, the Senate
NRSC,
National Republican Senatorial Committee, spent $90 million trying to save Cornyn. Cornyn's a bad vote. He's not reliable. Now, he might be reliable for Mitch McConnell's version of the Senate Republicans, but he's not reliable for conservatism. And he says now they're left with the jarring reality that they had hoped to avoid, $250 million. That's the internal price tag, which means that's what they're telling people. Oh, no, now we're going to have to help Paxton to hold the seat instead of flipping Democratic seats in places like Georgia, Michigan, and New Hampshire. Now, I'm going to tell you what that actually said.
Yeah.
The translation is, we're going to use the excuse of having to help Paxton to not go win seats against incumbent Democrats who are really our buddies,
the Uniparty,
who we really don't mind if they're there or not. But when someone says, why aren't you trying to win that seat in Georgia? Well, because we got to go help save crazy Paxton.
And he's running against Tallarico.
Talafrico.
I mean, the guy's a nut.
He really is a nut. And in Texas, Texans know he's a nut.
Yeah.
Okay? Even Democrats in Texas know he's a nut.
Well, it's just like when Ted Cruz was up against what's his name, the one that tried.
Oh, the other nut. What was his name? Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and they were whining they had to spend so much money to beat him.
Mm-hmm.
He was an absolute. He was a criminal nut.
He was not a good guy. But how much did Cruz end up winning by though?
Like 20-something points.
It was handily.
Yeah.
But they acted like it was close as it could be at every moment.
No. Ted Cruz is not going to get beat in Texas until he becomes a true rhino.
I just want people to note that the Senate Republicans are already laying the groundwork for explaining why they're not going to try to win the seats. Now, they may not can win in New Hampshire. I get it. But they should be trying to win that seat in Georgia no matter what. Yeah. And if they act like, no, we're too busy trying to save scandal-soaked Paxton, it's all because what you said. It is the uniparty.
Yeah.
They had no business going to spend $90 million. Again, it's the question I always ask. If you have two candidates that are basically saying they believe the same things, they're the same guy. You can't tell who is who. If you take their faces and their names off, you don't know whose website's whose, okay? If that is the case, why does Washington, D.C. go and spend fortunes trying to get their guy?
Ask Katie Britt.
That's kind of my point, is why is it worth all that? It's only worth that if you're getting something or you know there's a difference that matters to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it all is. I mean, another example is look at the coverage, the national coverage between Katie Britt and Tommy Tuberville. Tuberville's in the national media's viewpoint, they don't like Tuberville. Tuberville's mean. Tuberville's Darth Vader. Tuberville's all this. If you get a list of two pieces of paper, you're like, wait a minute, he and Katie Britt believe the same things. Now, voting record is different.
Oh, absolutely.
But what you see from a propaganda standpoint, a PR standpoint, what's put out to the voters is almost exactly the same. But one of them is Darth Vader and one of them is Princess Leia.
And Darth Vader has, 90-something% voting record for the people, and Princess Leia has 65.
Yeah. But the only people the people who don't know that are the people of the state of Alabama. The people who do know that is the uniparty.
That's right. And that's why they don't want very more.
Because I promise you, I would bet $1,000 at this point right now, if you went and got U.S. Senator John Cornyn's advertisements and his mail pieces and his radio ads and the whole 9 yards,
Christian
you couldn't tell the difference between him and Paxton.
But we know the difference.
Right. And Washington, D.C. knows the difference. And that's what I'm trying to get out to people. Yeah. Washington, D.C. knows the difference in these candidates. And that's why Washington, D.C. weighs in on people that look exactly the same on paper.
So how many seals are running this year for Congress?
Oh, God. It's either 8 or 10. There's like 6 or 7 in the House, and there's like 2 running for the United States Senate.
So a Navy SEAL is a warrior?
That's what they say, yeah.
What are they going to go warrior?
I don't know. I find it odd that there's that many. I mean, you know, there's got to be way more doctors than there are SEALs in the country. There's got to be way more. So how in the world did we end up with everybody deciding to run at the same time? I'm not. That's not besmirching anybody. It's just odd that seems to be the effort.
So a Navy SEAL is the one that beat Thomas Massey?
Yes. I think he was a SEAL.
He was a SEAL.
I want to know who did the polling that says, you know what? If you want to be seen as the guy,
you need to be a
SEAL. We got to take a break. Lots of stuff to do today. We'll be back.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politician.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
All righty, let's get right to it. Let's get out to your phone calls before we move on a little bit. Let's go to Nectarine. Nectarine, welcome to the program. Thank you for listening. Happy Wednesday to you.
Yeah, you're talking about Washington, D.C.
Yes,
I
sir.
don't think people realize that it's a city-state, and it was set up basically by the Vatican and the City of London and for the Corporation of the United States that they wanted to operate us under.
The Corporation of the United States came later, after Washington, D.C. was built.
Right. But that was getting it set up for it was part.
So was
of
that
it.
on behalf of the
And
Vatican, or was that the London bankers? Or was it a yes to both?
Yeah, that's the City of London. It's its own city within London.
Okay.
Just like the Vatican, the country. But the thing is that people, when they ask if you're a citizen, well, yeah, if you want to be a citizen of the City of London under the corporation that they set up, or a U.S. a national, then you can establish your national citizenship by just filing a simple affidavit with the Secretary of State.
That's one of the rabbit holes or trails I've not ever gone down. I've got so many now I can barely emotionally cope with everything that's coming. That might end up one of our least concerns is whether or not we're a corporation or a country, and because no matter what, they're plunging us into this new surveillance state that's going to come with cashless society and
digital ID.
Digital ID.
Or at least they're trying. There are 209 countries that are signed on to a worldwide reset, going back to asset-based gold, silver. That's happening right now, and we're gonna get rid of the Federal Reserve and all that stuff.
I'd love to see that happen.
I was with a tax revolt group in 1981 when I lived in Memphis, and everything that's going on right now, we were talking about it in 1981. So this is not something that just popped up.
Oh, they've been working on these things for a long, long, long time.
Yeah, the Nezra thing has been passed, and that is the restoring us back to the lawful money of the account of the United States is gold and silver coin. Read Article 1, Section 8 and 10 of the Constitution. That's our monetary system.
I'm with you on that.
Congress can coin money and regulate the value thereof and of foreign currency. Section 10, in that Section 10, it says no states can pay their debts in anything other than gold and silver coin. That's still the law. Anything outside of that, which is fiat currency, and fiat currency is a bearing of false witness in money.
I agree with you, Nectarine. I'm with you. I just don't know how we get it back.
Sherman, he wrote a little treatise called A Caveat Against Injustice, and about the evils of using fiat currency, instead of real, then that we were doing just fine. Read everybody for as far as American history should read Benjamin Franklin's autobiography. That's a feet on the ground, history of what was going on in our colonies. We were doing fine. The states had their own script. He was a printer,
Yes, sir.
and they regulated their. And they did. We had no unemployment. We were booming. And then he went over to London, to find out what was going on. And then they said, well, look, they had debtors' prisons, and the wealthy people said there was an excess of labor and all this stuff. And they were asking, how did we pay for our debtors' prison? And it says, well, we don't have any debtor prisons. We print and regulate our own script. And boy, 6 months later, they went to Parliament and passed. We had to use the coin of the realm, and then they weren't going to just spend it into our economy. They made us have to borrow it, and we were in 18 months, we were in the same boat that England was in. It's right. He writes it in his autobiography.
I got a note of that.
Those are our history. That's our history books. We don't need these people that get PhD in American history and then they write their own version, and then they get 5 people on that university board to say, okay, you've been board certified or whatever. That's the problem with this education system called, acquired knowledge,
Yeah, no, I got you.
And then I went to LSU for 3 years. My tuition, with out-of-state tuition, was $750 a semester. And then I had my dormitory and cafeteria, So, and how they have gotten college tuition up to thousands of dollars and get these kids in debt. Something's wrong.
I agree with you. Hey, Nectarine, we got to take a break.
It's ridiculous.
We appreciate it.
Okay, we'll see you.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. We'll be right back.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering.
The issue at hand. So this article about what happened in Texas displays the whining from the Republican establishment, which they always say this. They're like, if you don't give us the milk toast rhino, we're going to lose. We're going to lose the seat. We can only win with the rhinos. And I always want to know, well, what good does it do us when we have to have you? We have to have them. Say it's a repealing Obamacare. When we have to have them on something that really matters, they vote the other way.
Right.
And we lose.
Yep.
So why not have a Democrat that at least we all know it's a Democrat instead of a Republican that appears to be a Republican except when it really matters, and then they go act like a Democrat.
Just like the SAVE Act.
Yes.
You can't get it passed because the Republicans are voting with the Democrats.
Yes, it's the Republicans' fault that we can't pass the SAVE Act.
They don't want IDs to vote.
And you wonder why.
Yeah.
It's very similar to Alabama not wanting people to have to have closed primaries or to have to say that you're voting in the Republican primary or the Democrat primary because, like as the leadership said, we'll lose some of our Republicans.
Which
in primaries to conservatives. Now they don't say all that part, but that's the true part.
That's the whole truth.
But that goes back to when I was there, way back in the Dark Ages. I was there. Noah, Moses, Elijah, all served about the same time.
Dinosaurs.
The dinosaurs were there.
Yeah.
We rode dinosaurs to the State House to go there. There was, if y'all remember, there was an effort by the Republican leadership to no longer have runoffs in primaries. And they said they were doing it to save money. Now, nobody believes they care about saving money. So you have to ask yourself, why were they for that? I'll tell you why. Because usually the establishment candidate is ahead when the primary is over.
Because
there's one of them.
Then the one conservative person, but then the Republican Party makes sure that there's 2 or 3 more candidates that will pull.
That run as conservatives,
yes.
and they act super conservative.
Yep.
So the establishment guy or girl gets 33%.
Yep.
The conservative ends up getting 25%.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get multiple people that are also conservative that get 15 and 10 and 5. So look, so who's ahead at the end of the primary? The establishment uniparty guy or girl. And so that's why the Republican Party's leadership, the House legislative leadership, said, hey, let's quit having runoffs. Because what happens in the runoff is the 15 for each of those conservatives switches over to the guy that had 25, and he has a chance of winning.
Right.
And that's why they wanted to get rid of that.
That's
and
right.
So I looked at my friends who were on my side so many times that had beat establishment candidates, and we all were in second before the runoffs. And I'm like, wait a minute. You're trying to get rid of people like us.
That's right.
And that's what they were doing. And that's exactly the kind of thing that goes on in Washington, D.C., where they're like, hey, we need to support the electable candidate, which means you need to support the squishy rhino because we can't get a real conservative elected here or there. Well, like I said, my argument is make the battle lines clear. If you can't win as a conservative, then let the Democrats have it. But they know, the establishment knows that rhinos are at risk, and that's why they come up with all these
Yeah, we
answers.
lost a lot of incumbents this past, but 12 out of 17 that got all that gambling money won, and then there's still several in runoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So all that big money, gambling money coming in,
It makes a difference.
it made a difference. Made a big
Well, a
difference.
lot of it's because people don't listen to this program like they should.
Yeah.
And we need more folks saying, "Hey, you need to listen to this at least part of the time, or go over to YouTube and listen to one of the older segments, because it's our job or it's our passion to try to figure out. You don't hear us telling you, "Hey, vote for this person" or "Don't vote for that person," but at least we'll tell you, "Hey, there's something to see over there."
Yeah.
Because
and we give you facts and statistics that goes with it.
Well, let's ask. I asked this last week. One of the big race that happened really last week nationally was the Thomas Massey race in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Thomas Massey, lot of conservatives have liked Thomas Massey for a very, very long time. Charlie Kirk was a big fan of Thomas Massey.
Right.
Thomas Massey is still one of those who's trying to get the truth out about whatever went on behind the Epstein files. What is actually going on there? Washington, D.C., the Uniparty acts like well, it doesn't matter, move on. And that's kind of where we are. We just kind of, we don't care what all these people have done. But Massey was one of those. He got sideways with the president.
Mm-hmm.
I believe
that
he was.
That was over APAC.
Yes. He's also the only congressman that does not have what's called an APAC handler.
Yeah.
That means 534 senators and House members have an assigned APAC handler except for Thomas Massey.
That's right.
And it was APAC money, APAC supporter money, APAC, the family APAC money that was poured in to beat Thomas Massey. And the president was against Thomas Massey, too, said he was the worst congressman. That makes no sense, but we all know that Trump speaks in hyperbole. So what do you have that you think happened in that campaign? And you seem to have some data.
Yeah, I have data, and that's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I have data. So the news is talking about, we think Massey got 2020'd, and they mean that by, that Trump, it was stolen. But they don't call it stolen. They call it 2020'd.
Okay. Now who is saying that? What news outlet, or is this people who are actually looking at the returns?
Well, there's multiple.
Okay.
Grok says it, which, that's funny.
Twitter's AI believes that the Massey election was stolen?
Yes.
Wow. Now, this is where the folks roll in and go, well, you just can't believe AI because AI is just giving you answers based on what's put out there, and a bunch of crazies must have put stuff out there, so that you can't trust it. Now, tomorrow, when it tells us something else, like the aliens are real, it'll be like you have to trust AI because it's smarter than you are. It's just nothing but the facts.
Well, that was just one, but I pulled about 4 or 5 different articles. So if you looked at Massey's concession speech, there were hundreds of people there. There was only 30 or 40 people at Galreen's victory party. So
yeah, did you hear that, Sky? That's one of the things I think should shock people. So Galreen, who's the guy who beat Thomas Massey,
Navy SEAL,
Right.
had the highest record-breaking turnout,
365% increase
from what Massey's opponent got before. Just unbelievable numbers. Massey's numbers went up even higher than they were during the presidential election year.
By 19%.
By 19% higher. So a fifth higher, and then this guy comes in and beats him. And he's so popular that like 30 people are at his victory speech.
This is all beginning to sound so familiar.
Yes, it
sounds
does.
a little bit like Joe Biden, doesn't it?
Yeah. This 325% increase over the previous
opponent.
Yeah. The vote split was substantially different from what the polls indicated. 10,000 mail-in ballots appeared at the last minute.
How much did Massey lose by?
What? How many?
10,000 something.
Oh, another one of those midnight specials. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
I wasn't aware of that.
Well, they were sitting on the desk. They were right there the whole time. We had them.
No.
We just
They
forgot.
were in the suitcase under the table.
Right. We'll count these later if necessary.
How many votes are we behind?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your
The
results
total
may vary.
votes was 105,000. The opponent's vote.
All right, hold that.
Oh,
People want to hear it. We got to take a break.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politician.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Everybody, we're back. So we were talking about before the break about the Massey race up in Kentucky, and you were giving us numbers.
Yes.
Now, Thomas Massey said, hey, look, there's no shenanigans here, nothing. I'm not asking for a recount. I'm not looking into it. People have spoken. I'm out. Mm-hmm. And that's what he said. Marjorie Taylor Greene responded to it and said that people should respect his wishes, that he has given so much, his family's given so much. And basically, it's not up to just a handful of people to save the republic. Everybody needs to
step up.
Step up. I can't. That's the paraphrase version of what she said, and she's right about that.
Yeah. Well, we flood these airwaves with things that people need to step up about, but it just seems like it goes one ear and out the other, and. What does the Bible say? They'll have scales on their eyes because they can't see what we see. Mm-hmm. And they're busy, the government or what is it Anonymous says? The predators. He calls them predators. The predators have put families in such a bind that saving the country is way down the list from saving your family.
Well, I've always said that okay, this is my personal opinion. I believe God made us. Well, I mean, he did. And people can say, well, that was it. But God made Adam and Eve to work in the garden, okay? And to keep the garden, tend the garden. I believe really we're kind of built for an agrarian existence.
Yeah.
Just because that's just my personal feeling that seems to be the pace, the seeing nature work and the being out there and all that seems to be how human beings are wired. I also think that industrialization and the moving to the cities, Thomas Jefferson talked about how bad it would be if we all got packed in cities. When somebody's depending on the land, depending on the farm, depending on God, it gives people an independence.
Yeah.
Where George Washington yearned to go back to Mount Vernon and not serve and not do all these things. What do you do now if they say, hey, we're going to squeeze your money? You do what you just said. You have to look out for your family. In the old days, you could be a patriot and go, you know what? What are you going to do to me? I'm going back to the farm. I'll live there. If you come and mess with me there, we're going to fight. But we are dependent on the system now, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, that's part of the.
That's how they control us.
That's how the predators control. Started back with the whole Rothschild. We could go into that forever.
The debt system, the money system, like Nectarine was talking about, and
so getting back to Massey because you and I are going down that rabbit trail again. The numbers, Massey's votes were 47,539. The opponents was 57,822.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the difference of 10,283
Okay.
votes.
Okay.
and 10,000 mail-in ballots came in at the last minute. So it's quite,
Is that way more mail-in ballots than that congressional district has ever had before?
Yes. Yes. It was a 30.8 percentage point increase. So here I have the breakdown of the ages
Okay.
of who voted.
Okay.
So from 18 to 29, 78.5% voted for Massey. 30 to 44.
Wait. 18 to 29, 78% of the people voted for Massey.
And a half.
Oh my gosh, that's unbelievable numbers.
Yeah. 30 to 44, 64.9.
Okay.
45 to 64, 53. But 65 plus, which are the people who generally have the absentee ballots,
Okay.
35%
35%
of people over 65. Now,
So is that the boomers?
yes.
Okay.
Was that the same thing that happened, in Georgia?
When Ashmoff or whatever his
Whatever,
name is,
yeah.
and then the crazy
Or
pastor.
Did the boomers actually not vote for Massey? And see, therein lies the question. But you'd have to take those 10,000 absentee ballots and go track them down.
Right.
Well, and I'm not sure how to say this on the radio without really stepping in it.
Uh-oh. Careful.
But is Massey smart enough to understand he does not need to go against the predators that have gone to this much trouble to defeat him?
Well, I mean, I just got finished reading to you that he said, hey, I lost, let it be. Marjorie Taylor Greene says, look, his family's given enough.
Mm-hmm.
What's she talking about? His family's given enough. Is his family's not interested in the election results?
Well,
or does somebody finally start seeing, hey, wait a minute, there are people out there that if you push them too far, somebody doesn't come home. How's that?
that's a good way to put it. He's got 8 months left in Congress. Let's
He does?
hope he just burns it down. And did you know that Pete Hegseth, Secretary of War,
I knew he went there before the election.
showed up to campaign for him?
Mm-hmm.
That is unprecedented.
Yeah, I don't know the last time I saw somebody said that it either had never happened or had not happened in 100 years or something.
Unprecedented. Now, Hegseth, was he a Navy SEAL? I know he was.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't,
a Navy SEAL, but he was.
My question is, if they knew the butt whooping was coming, why did they send Hegseth out there the last weekend?
I don't know. I mean,
Because, it wasn't like he just squeaked by.
Yeah. Well, he squeaked by with the 10,000 absent.
Yeah.
Because had those not come in, it would have been a recount.
Oh, really? So you're saying the 10,000 put it beyond the margin of an automatic recount?
No. Well, the 10,000 kept it from being a
Right.
recount. 56 to 40, whatever, which is what the percentages were.
Let me ask you a question. And maybe they are. Did y'all know that the Galreen guy argued for re-implementing the military draft?
There are a lot of
So
people.
Americans in Kentucky, while we're
Boomers
engaged in an unpopular effort
of
with
war.
Iran,
Yeah.
the guy who says, yes, I'm for bringing the draft back, ends up winning the boomer vote by overwhelming numbers. That surprises me.
Yeah, the boomers that were in Vietnam.
That's what I'm saying.
They were drafted.
That were sent there against their will.
I got a notice the other day as a Banks jet.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they talk about our lost classmates.
Right.
And we had a classmate that went to Vietnam straight out. He left in July and he was killed in October. He lasted 3 months.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, we got to take a break. We'll be right back.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politician.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
We are back, everybody. Let's lots of stuff to do, lots of things to work on here. What?
Well, you know, when we switched sides of the table, I got all the room.
You did
got
get all the room. I have
equipment.
nothing but monitors. Surely some of these computers could do two jobs, but we have a computer. This is an early robotics union,
Yeah.
and they can't be doing other jobs.
Right.
So we don't want the Terminators mad. So I'm ahead of the game on making sure that we have equal rights and
on
not
the,
over
on the Terminators, yeah.
not overworking our AI.
Resistance is futile, so you might as well go along. Yeah.
Might as well. I know
Yes,
they're going to
Master.
get me, but I just want them to get me last. Isn't that what is that what we do?
I don't
That's
know.
it.
I think I just want to go
Go
ahead
ahead
and
and go
head
first.
on out.
Goodness gracious. Let's go to Babs. Babs, welcome to the program. Thank you for listening.
Good morning.
Hey, Babs.
I got feedback, but I was wondering if some of those I can't even say the word, absentee ballots that came in for came in for the other guy, not Massey.
Yes.
Do you think some of those could have been military? Wouldn't those be absentee ballots?
Yeah, they would be, but unless somebody goes to Kentucky, the probate judge or the Secretary of State, because they're still all unofficial, and they do the absentee ballot list last, you would not know those numbers. And we have that same problem here in Alabama.
Yeah, but what I'm saying isn't that possible?
Yes, it is possible.
It
Because
is,
we got a
but
lot of military overseas.
yeah, but 10,000 would be a lot of military ballots in a congressional race, like a lot.
Well, I'm not saying all military, but I was just thinking that a good portion.
It could be a part.
Y'all scaring me to death. Are you familiar with George Carlin?
Yes, I
Yes.
love George
I've heard
Carlin.
of George Carlin.
I loved him.
I did too. And what he said, we ain't charged. They just let you think you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he the one who said
And-
it's a big club and you ain't in it?
Yep.
That's the
That's
guy.
it. You ain't in it. Yes, sir. Hey, Ann, I don't know if I told you this before or not, but I told the head of the Republican meeting here in Montgomery what you said about several of the clubs or whatever they're called that left because they have transgender or gay or whatever and she told me, she said that's not true.
Well,
I said, well, would you check? And I'm going today and I'm gonna ask her if she checked.
she needs to call Tiffany and ask her.
Okay. I enjoy going to these meetings because you get to hear some of the candidates, and Brian Dawson's going to be there today. But if I get a chance, I'm going to ask.
Well, very good.
See what I can hear.
Yep.
All right,
Thank
Babs.
you, guys.
Hey, thank you so much.
Y'all teach me so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So, Galreen didn't do any debates. No grassroots showed up at his campaign events at all. But we're supposed to believe they all came out in record numbers and voted for him. So we were talking about money. One of the billionaire Jewish Republican donors, Paul Singer, gave a whole lot of money. Of course, we don't know exactly how much yet. But an estimated $32.6 million was spent on the most expensive legislative race in history, is what they said. $5 million from a PAC affiliated with the Republican Jewish Coalition, and $10 million from PACs affiliated with AIPAC. And AIPAC is the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. And every single congressperson, except Massey, has what they call an AIPAC handler, American Israel Public Affairs Committee. And they're called handlers. They're not called lobbyists. They're not, that's their name. And every senator and every congressman except Massey. So
what did Massey do? Because what we're sold this whole thing about is that, and look, this is not taking sides. This is discussing, in my opinion, what happened there.
Right.
The mainstream media tells us, and conservative media, and there is a conservative media, tells us that what happened in that race was that Donald Trump, the leader of MAGA, was mad at Thomas Massey for maybe the big, beautiful bill, and especially the Epstein stuff, but they try to stay away from that. Yep. And therefore, Trump, all this money pours in to beat Massey because Trump is mad at Massey.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the conservative media tells us.
Okay.
But what it sounds like from the dollars is that it wasn't about Trump, and it wasn't about a split with Trump. It was about the fact that Massey had a lot of qualms with Israel. Is that more likely what the case is?
He was the only member of Congress from either party
Okay.
to vote no on a resolution affirming Israel's right to exist and ending all U.S. military aid to Israel.
Okay. Now, and if that is why people
That's
were
why.
opposed to him, if that's why the voters of Kentucky voted against him, because he was for stopping the flow of money to Israel. Now, I've heard him speak on it before about we have homeless people, we have veterans, we have crumbling. We don't have all the things. Israel has free this, free that. Very similar to many of the European countries.
Right.
Free this, free that, everything. They have all this stuff, and we're paying for them to have stuff for free while we're making Americans pay. Then the dollars should stay in America. I've heard that argument. So if that's why
libertarian.
everyone went against him, great.
Yeah.
But it does bother me that the conservative, quote unquote, conservative media in America makes it a Trump-Massey split when it seems more likely, considering that almost all the money that went against Massey came from groups like AIPAC. What was it? American Israel Political Action Committee?
Yes.
And then the other one was the Jewish something or other.
Republican Jewish Coalition.
The Republican Jewish Coalition. Unless you're telling me that those groups are already out there. If you're against Trump, we're pouring millions of dollars in against you. I don't see that.
No.
So it sounds like it was more of a rift with the pro-Israel group than it is a rift with Trump.
If you look at the AIPAC handlers for every person in Congress except him, obviously they're giving money to the congressman's campaigns.
Right.
I mean, the question is it for helping you to vote in the correct way, according to them? This was specifically attacking him to get him.
Right. Because usually it's a few $1,000s,
Right.
couple $100,000, maybe your whole thing.
Right.
But when you're talking about millions and millions and millions,
32.
because it's not, look, there's a lot of conservative folks who've tried to say that Thomas Massey's a rhino. That's just not accurate.
No.
That is not accurate. Now, you could say that Lindsey Graham is a rhino. You could say that Cornyn in Texas is a rhino. You could say the leader of the Republicans, Thune, is a rhino. You can make that claim,
Well,
but you can't say Massey's a rhino.
I think rhino is not appropriately applied to those people you just named. I think uniparty members
is a better
is
descriptor.
better description because they are not for the American people. They are for our corporatocracy, what we have going on in technocracy, it's not about we the people. It's about them working with the other side for the benefit
of the elites.
of the elite predators.
That's a good point. We got to take a break. We'll be right back.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
We are back, everybody. So let's get out to this couple of your phone calls. No, wait. What were you saying? I want to finish up with what you were telling before we go to the phone calls.
I lost my train of thought.
We'll get it back.
Yeah,
No doubt
Jerry
about it.
came in and
We were talking about AIPAC money.
Yeah.
And I was asking the question, was this really hey, AIPAC, pro-Israel lobby go? No, because that would explain some of the boomer position. A lot of boomer age folks are solidly in the Israel at all cost camp.
And a lot of the boomer folks are solidly in don't mess with Trump camp.
They are. The Trump is always right.
MAGA.
Trump is, it's funny about the MAGA thing. And Clark made a really good point. He called me and we were talking about sometimes we need to remember that Americans have been America first.
Forever.
Yeah. Trump was the only one who had the personal money, the personality to ride that wave.
And the power dynamic.
Yes, and sometimes I think Donald Trump believes that he thought up America first, which is why he doesn't call it America first. He calls it MAGA because MAGA is the Trump version of America first. So whatever Donald Trump thinks is America first today is America first and everything else is terrible. But if you look at what he was elected president twice on, Pat Buchanan was for that in the early 90s.
Right. And
I mean, is anybody going to call me and disagree with that?
And John Kennedy
was for it.
Ronald
Reagan was for it.
Reagan was for it. And Reagan actually implemented it, but they killed Kennedy before he could
implement some more of it.
Well,
yes.
he warned us. There's a group out there who want to make us the American slaves.
Right.
And 5 days later he's dead.
Mm-hmm. And then a bunch of quote-unquote conservative media went out and said, he's talking about the Soviet Union. He's talking about the Soviet Union. He's talking about the Soviet Union. And then people in 2026 are like, wait a minute. Are you sure? Mm-hmm. So there's some of that going on.
Yeah. So on May 19th, 2026, Senator Jack Rosen and James Lankford, one a Democrat from Nevada, the other a Republican for Oklahoma, co-chaired the Senate Bipartisan Task Force for Combating Anti-Semitism, put in a bill called the Jewish American Security Act. Now, it has not passed the Senate nor the House yet, but let me tell you what this does.
You want to hold on?
Okay.
Because I got to think a minute, and not that Red Top usually lets my mind simmer, but
he don't want to talk to you anyway.
So just a few days ago,
May 19th.
May 19th. It's 27. No, 8 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be the day after. No, that was election day.
No,
was that the Massey? It was primary day in Alabama, the 19th.
Tuesday the 19th.
Was that when Massey lost? The day of the Massey election, Senator Jackie Rosen and James Lankford sponsor a bill called the Jewish American Security Act.
Yes.
Okay, I got to go to Red Top and try because I got
clear your mind a little bit.
Clear my mind a little bit. Red Top, welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Good morning, Red Top. I knew you'd make me feel better.
Oh yeah. I'm so surprised. I'm glad Massey's gone. Him and Marjorie Taylor Greene, they were the Epstein holdouts. I got so sick of that crap. And wait.
What's an Epstein holdout? What do you mean when you say an Epstein holdout?
Well, that's what they seem. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I know Marjorie Taylor Greene was one who kept raising hell about Epstein this, Epstein that.
Yeah,
I think Massey was in that crowd too, wasn't he?
Yeah, Massey wants something, there to be some sort of justice for whatever went on with Epstein. Yeah, I know he was one of those, yes.
Yeah, and you know what? They wasted so much time and energy doing that when at a critical point when we needed to be focusing on Homeland Security and all that. I don't know. I'm sick of them. I'm glad he's gone.
Yeah,
And,
because
you
we
know,
wouldn't want to do
the fact-
anything about the kids who were trafficked or possibly murdered, butchered, sacrificed, any of that kind of stuff. We're not even worried about that. We got to worry about I don't know, something. We got to do something. What is the U.S. Senate doing?
You know, I again, that's just
You
how
get
I
what I'm
feel.
saying.
I know y'all
Here's
feel
my
different.
point, Red Top. I have been a victim of the media as well, and we were basically taught, hey, look, the Epstein stuff, just ignore it. It's dumb. It's ridiculous. Why are you focused on it? We got other work to do. I'm just waiting on them to tell me what that other work that they were going to get to is, because I haven't seen them get to it yet.
Yeah, they hadn't passed the SAVE Act yet. I mean, what are they doing? They're passing. They're putting in these kinds of bills.
That's the problem with having Republicans in charge, isn't it?
These kind of Republicans, yes.
Yeah. Okay, but there's a whole hell of a lot of them. Good riddance, Cornyn too.
I know. I agree with you on that one. It's like Clark says. The problem with us is a lot of us are them.
Yes. Okay, very quickly, some extremely important news that nobody's talked about. The Internet is back on in Iran as of yesterday.
Well, very good. What are they doing with it?
88 days without Internet. It's going to be interesting to see.
That would have been fun.
You guys would be a wreck.
Yeah, we would.
Y'all would be in mental institutions right now. You couldn't even walk across the street without the Internet.
Crazy.
Nor could you find your McDonald's in the morning.
What's the explanation? Why would the government, the entrenched government, allow social media to come back at this time? What do you think?
Well,
seems dangerous to them.
They need to start spreading their propaganda.
I see.
Okay, this does not mean when I say the Internet's open, it's not like it is here, guys. It never was.
Very limited.
It was always extremely censored.
Okay.
Yeah, but they could use that as a bargaining chip with, trying to reach a plan with Trump. Well, we opened the Internet again, so that was something that Trump was asking for. So
yeah, but they ain't doing it as a bargaining chip, because right now at the White House they're having a conference about going back to war. I'll guarantee you. That's why this cabinet meeting is totally secret. The one that was supposed to
How'd
be
you know
Camp
about
David
it?
today. Yeah. So this ain't just a breakfast to have croissants. This is to have a breakfast to cross out the Iranians. And even more important to me, NASA announced the 3 phases of the City of the Moon on this morning. You need to Google that.
I bet it's a 15-minute city. What do you bet? A 15-minute city. It's got to have sustainable development goals. If it's on the moon, it's got to be sustainable SDGs. So it's going to be a 15-minute city on the moon.
So what are the names of the 3 main phases? What are the names?
1, 2, and 3.
That's easy to remember.
Boy, that was a deep question.
That's boring. Well, I thought it'd be named after something.
Alpha, betas.
Yeah.
No,
Something
this is not a military. This is NASA. They still use translunar injection, which is, the astronauts never like that. And Jeff Bezos has won the contract to transport the gear to the moon. They will start transporting infrastructure before the end of this year.
Really?
Imagine that.
Yes,
So we bought our moon stuff from Amazon? I hope we had
Amazon
I hope we had a
Prime,
Prime
Scott.
account, so it's free delivery.
Prime. Yeah.
Hey, sir, this is not Amazon. This is Blue Origin, and apparently he's jumping ahead of Elon Musk on these contracts.
Of
He
course
may be the one that lands men on the moon.
Free enterprise.
He might, yeah.
Get on
Yeah.
down.
So you check it out. Blue Origin's got a super lift rocket. They already have the crane design. They showed an animation of it picking up. The first thing they're going to drop down is the 2-person cars.
Woohoo! They're going to be using coops.
And then drop in the power stations. these are self-contained power units, and they're going to have a lot of outposts spread all over the South Pole, which is where all the water is.
I got you. All right, Red Top. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
Roll Tide, go Trump. Thank you.
So we're getting our moon stuff from Amazon.
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime. Sorry, as long as it's Prime.
Yeah.
Free delivery in 2 days.
That's right. Even to the moon, so that's right.
We'll be back, I think.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
All right, everybody, welcome back in. Now, don't let me forget to tell y'all about Brian Dawson's podcast. It's called 1819 News, the podcast. Somebody mentioned where he was going to be today. You can see him live out there. Where was she going? Who was it Babs?
Yeah, Babs was, then that would be the Montgomery Republican women's group.
I got you.
luncheon.
So don't forget it. You can go find it over at YouTube. After you watch us on YouTube, you can switch over and search for 1819 News, the podcast. There's a whole archive there, and you can see what Brian Dawson is up to. Back to this piece of legislation.
Wait. I have to say something. I have 20 messages.
Okay.
The 10,000 absentee last-minute ballots on the Massey race
Right.
is more than what was sent in during COVID.
Wow. Well, that seems probable.
Probable.
In what universe is that probable? Yeah.
All right.
Come on.
So
Come on.
in this bill,
The Jewish American Security
the
Act.
Jewish American, and I'm going to give my disclaimer. I am not an anti-Semite.
Why do you think you had to say that?
Because
Because you can't talk negatively about
because you
this without
can't.
being called.
yes.
Okay.
And I want you, when I finish this, I want you to give the definition of what they consider anti-Semite. I am a constitutional truth seeker, and this bill is unconstitutional because it declares a special class that the rest of we, the people, don't get. I'm sorry, in any world, that's unconstitutional.
Well, it is the same reason that I opposed quote unquote hate crimes. Because I never thought it was okay if someone killed one of my children, they get the standard
Right,
punishment,
right.
hopefully the death penalty. But if someone kills someone because they quote hate them, you get extra death penalty or you get extra. And I'm like, wait a minute, why do we not just punish
Who do we?
people
who defines hate?
Yeah, who decides what it is? But again, it's back to judges being able to see into the heart and soul of people.
Yeah, right. Okay, so the most insidious part of this thing is that online platforms will have to submit detailed transparency reports every 180 days showing exactly how they detect, limit visibility, and prevent the amplification of speech against Jewish Americans. This forces the big tech algorithms to over-censor automatically to avoid federal penalties. So in this bill, there's a penalty. They are using your money to fund the very infrastructure that silences you. And in March of 2026, so this bill was in the making before then, Google bought Wiz for $32 billion, all cash.
Okay.
Wiz is a cybersecurity giant founded by
Probably some army dudes out of Israel.
former Israeli military intelligence
You gotta be kidding me.
officers.
You know how many technology companies are founded, owned by Israeli intelligence officers, former ones?
Palantir, the biggest dome that we have. This defense apparatus is now the automated gatekeeper of Google Cloud and generational AI like Gemini, combined with Project Nimbus, a $1 billion cloud contract that legally binds Google and Amazon to provide mass surveillance and data harvesting tools to state ministries, forbidding them from ever turning it off.
Really?
This isn't just an institutional.
Now, you said it also,
shield.
the bill has a clause in it,
Yes, a
what is it?
severability
clause, which
clause.
means if the court finds part of it unconstitutional, the rest of it stays.
Yes.
Knowing that it's unconstitutional,
Yes.
it has a severability clause that says, hey, if you find this unconstitutional, we're going to keep the funding part, though. You're going to
That's
keep
right.
spending the $1 billion on security if it says that all these other things are unconstitutional.
So in Section E, the severability clause explicitly states that if the court strikes down the censorship, which is unconstitutional,
Right.
the financial pipeline to specialized NGOs,
Right.
which I've said we need to get rid of all of them. I don't care who they are. And private security contractors
All remains.
cannot be stopped.
Let me tell you, I'll just tell you a little bit how AI is working for y'all, okay? The last sentence of AI, if you look up the Jewish American Security Act, says this. The legislation has earned wide backing from major advocacy associations, comma. You want me to read you the 3 that they list as the examples of who is for the Jewish American Security Act? Including the American Jewish Community, the Anti-Defamation League,
yes,
and the Jewish Federations of North America. That's like saying Alabama Unfiltered Radio has wide backing from major Alabama citizens, including Scott Beason, Ann Eubank, and Sky Mosley. Well, of course we are. We're for it. This is us.
That's what we do.
I'm just like, this is under.
So-
now, here's my here's the
I
part.
need your definition of defamation.
There have been versions of this bill sponsored in the past. And in the past, they referenced, hey, because you got to figure out, if you're going to say you're going to police all this hate speech, who decides what the hate speech is? Okay? Well, in the past, other versions of this legislation referenced a group called the, what did I say it was? The AH, here it is, the IHRA, which is an international group, the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance. What they did was they decided what was anti-Semitic, and then everybody would use those guidelines as, hey, this is anti-Semitism. They've left that out of this legislation this time because some of those groups that it says widely support it said, hey, just leave it off this time. And I'll tell you why. One of the reasons they left it off was because that group had decided that saying Christ is king was anti-Semitic. So I looked up that phrase, and it said, well, that's not inherently anti-Semitic, but it could be because we've decided that it's being used by a lot of right-wing groups. So the definitions and what is considered anti-Semitic, to me, is very, very, people should worry about it, okay? You can be considered anti-Semitic. Where's the definitions? If you say the media is run by mostly Jewish people, that counts as anti-Semitic. And you need to be reported, and you need to be, I mean, whether it is or not. What if you say, well, if I go out and say, hey, look, the media is being run by the Russians? That's fine. You can say that. You can say that all day long. You can say it's being run by the Chinese. It's fine. All day long. No, you can say it's being run by Scott. Fine. All day long. But you can't say it's being run by, and it includes individuals.
Well, there's only 5 major media companies. Who owns them? Look it up.
Well, just saying what you can't.
Yep.
So here's where you get in trouble. The ADL and other experts focus on the intentionality of the usage. So if you say Christ is king, I'm reading it right here. When the phrase Christ is king is used to intentionally provoke, harass, or express contempt, it is viewed as anti-Semitic. And who's going to decide how you're using it? I'm telling you, I can't believe Washington, D.C. is just losing their minds over this.
You and I talked about yesterday that I've been to Israel.
Uh-oh. All right, we're going to explore that on the other side. We'll be right back. And so here's the quick thing. Some of the definitions by the IHRA, working definitions, things that can cross into anti-Semitism. Alleging a world Jewish conspiracy will get you busted for anti-Semitism, or that Jews control media, government, or the economy. media, government, or the economy. If you just say, "Hey, this is what I think." No, look, you don't have to be right. That's my point. If you said that Australians were running the government, that's fine. You can say it all day. You can be wrong as day is long. It's okay. But you can't say that you think Jewish people are. Any of the classic anti-Semitism, using tropes like blood libel, which I still don't even know what that is exactly, or decide charges to characterize Israelis, calling for harm. Nobody's for calling any harm. If you just deny or distort the Holocaust. So if somebody says, hey, I don't think, I'm surprised that, because I didn't know this, all right? I did not know this a few weeks ago, that if you were someone who lived in an area that was under German or Italian, the Axis powers control, but not Japan, you are a Holocaust victim. What? Yes, I thought, and I looked it up, I thought Holocaust victims were the people that were sent to the camps, the whole 9 yards. But no. If you're just...
Who made that up?
That one of these international groups has been for a long time. So you just had to be... You didn't really even have to have a hard life or anything really happen. You were just there under the bad control.
That's that now we're looking at those who control the history books, control history, because when I grew up, a Holocaust victim was someone who had been taken to the camps by the Germans.
No, that's what I always thought it was, but you can look it up and see if I'm right.
Well, that's just another change. Let's change the definition of the word.
Yeah. If you so there's what I'm trying to say to people is there's no way that this is smart legislation.
Oh, dumbest ever.
Because you can do all these things. You can be wrong. Yeah, years ago you used to hear people say, hey, look, you have a right to be wrong. And you can say whatever.
It's called the First Amendment right of free speech, I think.
That doesn't mean people have to believe you. That doesn't mean people have to listen to you. But if you create a situation where certain people can never be questioned, that is a problem.
Yep.
What if you quote someone, for instance, Voltaire, to find out who rules over you, simply find out who you're not allowed to criticize? Would that get you in trouble?
Yes, because that would be
that's good, Sky. That's good.
That would come under the definition where it says your intention.
Oh, okay. So there also would be able to judge my intention.
Yeah, they know your heart, right? It's because you said that with the intent. Now, if they if they decided you were talking about the Chinese, that's okay. You can do that.
I was talking about philosophy, man.
Just general.
Just general terms. So there's no way out of that anymore. Freedom of speech, forget it. Okay, got it.
And to bring in and force the internet companies
that is already censoring
a report for every 180 days.
What's on that report?
I don't know. It doesn't. I have to.
All right, let me ask you another one. Say Sky sends me a social media message or sends me the link to a guy who's posted Voltaire's quote about who you can question, who you can't question. Okay, he sends it to me.
You probably won't
he's on the report for sharing probably.
Right.
If I like it or share it with you, what if I save it? If I save it, am I also on the report? People don't even think about these things. Yeah. And so you know what the social media companies have to do? The whole thing about reporting have to do is their censorship has to be off the chart because they don't want to report all that.
Yeah, because they'll be fined if they don't.
If they don't do it.
If they don't do it. Yes.
What is Langford doing? Of course, Langford's been a disappointment on a number of issues, but this is amazing. People think, well, that won't happen. Well, we have state after state after state after state that says if you take part in a boycott of the country of Israel for whatever your reasons are, you can't get a state contract. There's a bunch of states that have that. I would not be surprised if Alabama doesn't already have that.
I don't remember.
But a bunch of states have that already.
A bill that.
Remember a few years ago there was a big movement to boycott or whatever.
Yeah.
So you can boycott again. You can boycott Switzerland all you want, but you can't boycott certain countries. And now we're back to the question of Voltaire's question. If you want to know who's in charge, find out who you can't boycott. I mean, who you can't criticize.
That's right.
I mean, that's just strange to me.
This is some Soviet Union type
Well,
hardcore.
okay, let me go down my rabbit trail because this is just, as I was
Can't
talking.
control the party.
Dots connect, dot connect. This is just step one. They're saying, okay, if you say something bad about the Jewish people or Israel, then we're going to censor you and report you to the government.
Oh, by the way, Israel is in that list of.
Yes.
It's synonymous, but if you claim it's synonymous, that's also anti-Semitic.
Right.
So to note that in the legislation, okay? Y'all should see that.
Yeah.
It's considered the same. Can't be critical.
It's a one-size-fits-all discrimination.
Oh, absolutely. And who
One-stop
decides if you're guilty?
Well, they can start with that, but then they take step two for the rest of us that whatever the government deems they don't want you saying, they're going to have the internet companies report you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a slippery slope. Yeah, you can start with anti-Semitism, but what's next? Did you say something bad about the president? Did you say something bad about a senator or a world? Where does this stop? We must stop it from beginning, or it will continue to, and finally we'll come to the point where you can't say anything that's against whatever the government
Whatever the
deems.
government says is acceptable.
That's right.
And they always start it with, well, you wouldn't want to say anything bad about puppies.
That's right.
Well, of course I wouldn't. No, we need that. And then they go, well, we need to add a little bit more. It was okay last time. And then they eventually, you can't say anything against. By the way, AI, when I search for how many states have laws against boycotting the state of Israel, last paragraph, many states, including Alabama,
we made the
Texas, Florida, New York, have passed these measures with a full list and details available through tractors. Criminal offense for citizens, let's see, no, the contract focus laws requiring businesses and individuals contracting with the state to sign a pledge that they are not participating in or endorsing a boycott of Israel. I'm not saying I'm for boycotting Israel.
I'm definitely not. But
You've been there.
yeah, I've been there.
Well, after we take a couple of phone
I've been
calls, we're going to get to that because I think it's interesting. We'll be right back. Here in the breaks.
Yeah.
Ann's always like, I'm going to send you something. I'm like, I don't want it. I don't need to be messed up anymore. And then 5 minutes later, I'm like, Ann, I'll send you the thing. And she's like, I don't want to. I've got enough. That's the way our
full.
breaks. That's the way our breaks are going, Sky.
Yeah. It hurts just listening to it.
Oh,
It's
God.
a constant. Just constant. It just every
It's awful.
It's
terrible.
It's terrible.
every time something is revealed, it's like, oh, that's where that goes in the plan. It is so and I can't stop because that's what I've been tasked to do, is to learn and educate.
Well, wait till after the show or in the next break when I show you the clip I tried to send you that you couldn't open.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can still work it over here. But let's get out to some of your phone calls.
I love Alex Jones.
James has been up. James, we're talking about this federal legislation. What do you got?
Yesterday, when I called,
Start with
I
yesterday.
was actually on topic.
Were we talking about the moon topic yesterday?
I forget when it was. It was a couple of days ago. I don't even remember what I was doing. Let's just say I was outside in the yard.
Okay.
And I came in, and I had the radio on, and I went out and I cut the grass, and I took a bath, and then I laid down and took a nap, and then when I came back and listened to the radio again, you were still on the same topic.
It's because we're focused.
And so,
well, you might have also Sky played a replay Monday for Memorial Day.
that could have been it. I heard it
Thank you.
cycle. That I was giving you the benefit of the doubt. Okay.
James,
We took a day off.
Hey, we're working
But
on a
see-
system like when you go to the restaurant now and they take your cell phone number and then they buzz your cell phone. They send you a text to say your
I
table's
don't
ready.
know anything about that. No cell phone.
Yeah,
They don't
well,
let him out in public.
we're thinking about doing that for our phone callers, and then we'll buzz you back when your table's
Your
ready,
table's ready.
on the show.
Okay. Well, there you go.
That'll
As
work.
far as here's the key word I heard Miss Eubank say:
Okay.
the plan. And of course, not their plan. Those that remain unseen, but his plan.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't get shook up when we got bombs being dropped over in Iraq or Russia invades the Ukraine or all the drones or whatever. I just don't, because at my age I've heard it all before, and so I'm not concerned about it. God is sovereign. He's in control. So sitting right here in my kitchen, whether I'm floating Corral or not, I don't get concerned about stuff like that. Now, here's what I'll tell you about floating Corral. When you turn it upside down, it doesn't float. Now, I can explain that to you, but I'll let you go home and try this, and then later, if you're fortunate enough, I'll explain to you
I've already tried it. And look, the Corral plates are very shallow, but that displacement is just enough when they're upright. And do you have any spares? Because I'm trying to find. We had the old pink and with the green hearts and
These
stuff
are all
on.
white.
All white. Do you have like a whole set you could spare? Sell me.
I have a whole set, but I don't think you can afford them.
Oh God.
Okay, now let's go back to Red Top.
I thought we were
Can
going to
we
the
do that?
moon launch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we
all
do
right.
that? I mean, like the outpost on the moon.
Yes.
Do you remember like the Mercury and the Gemini and the Apollo missions?
Yes, I do.
When I was a kid, it was sold to us. The reason they kept doing these things was because of the science, the pure and applied science that they were able to learn.
Yeah.
And one of the things that they learned from those earlier missions, the product that they gleaned was Teflon.
Mm.
Now go and do your research on Teflon and see what great good Teflon has done. And I'll tell you another thing that they had as a result of those missions, programs, Velcro.
There you go.
They had so much Velcro inside the capsule,
Mm-hmm.
and there's some sort of test they were doing on the ground. And since it's not the same as in the outer atmosphere, where you don't have as much, you have less oxygen, but you got plenty of oxygen here on the planet.
Yeah.
And as a result, the capsule caught on fire.
Yep.
Ed White and some others burned up in there because they couldn't get the door open.
Yep.
Too much Velcro.
Really?
So my question is, you can research that. You don't have to take my word for it. But my question is this, Scott, that I had, well, probably not yesterday, but sometime today. What are we expecting to learn from this process that we're going through now? What information are we going to gain, and who are we going to turn it over to, and who is it going to be? I mean, you understand what
Who's
I'm
going to
saying? What's
benefit from the
stick?
current moon missions?
Yes. And what stick is
Well,
going to
there's
be
a-
derived from this to be, to keep us all in line?
There's a lot of money going to be made going. I don't think there's ever going to be any money made from actually going there, but it's
Well, you never know what the innovation will bring.
Well,
as
maybe
we
there'll be innovation.
go through the
Yeah,
process.
Yeah, but we're not ever going to do like mining and stuff. That's never going to be. It's never
No,
going to
no,
be cost
but
effective.
Just like the Velcro and the Teflon.
Mm-hmm.
What are the products, and how are they going to be used? Who's going to profit from that?
Jeff Bezos.
In other words, the people that always
The
profit
usual
from those sorts of
suspects.
things.
Probably. Yeah, but we'll get. Look what we'll get. We'll get Teflon, which poisons us. Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. it
Yeah,
is.
you got it.
We'll get microwaves, which are
Messing up your
poisonous.
brain waves.
We'll get-
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
you
I
follow
mean,
what
it's
I'm
gonna be
trying to
good.
get at here.
I follow what you're getting at. What is the value of of doing this to greater humanity other than we get to say we're doing it?
Now, and we're $40 trillion in debt now, Scott.
Yeah.
How far down the tubes are we going to be when we get that nice little outpost on the whichever side of the moon it is.
Well, we're going to be further down, and that's why we're doing all the things globally we're doing so that the dollar can't be undermined, as Skyset calls it, the petrodollar, because as long as it is the dominant currency of the world, we can continue to be in whatever debt we want to be in, because who's going to call us on it when we're the printers of the debt?
Now, I got another question for you.
Okay.
I'm surprised at you all, and this is on a smaller playing field now.
Okay.
In other words, special minorities, and I'm hedging my bets here because I don't want to get over there in that anti-Semitic stream.
Absolutely not.
No, but in Chilton County years ago, they could not gerrymander a county-wide district, so let's just say black folks could have representation in the county commission.
Right.
So if I'm not mistaken, and I think this is still in vogue, a judge, I'm going to say a federal judge, got a hold of the case, whatever district it's in, and everybody on countywide elections in Chilton County has 9 votes, not 1.
Huh.
Really?
And you can go back and look this up, and it may have been changed. Since I used to work up there in Jemison, but at one point in time, if it's still not the case, countywide elections, and I think that was it, not anything in different cities or towns in Chilton County, but countywide elections, everybody had 9 votes. And they could vote on whoever was running, whoever was on the ballot for county commissioner. And what that wound up doing, if I'm not mistaken, it gave that certain group of people 33% representation instead of the 14% of the population which they had at that particular time. I think I'm right on my
That would be
percentages.
against Section 17 of the Alabama Code.
That doesn't matter. It's a federal
Yes,
judge.
it would, but
For Alabama law does not matter. They will run
County
it down.
commissions?
1988, a federal court resulted in a settlement that implemented a cumulative voting system for the Chilton County Commission. Under the system, black voters were able to concentrate their votes, called plumping, to elect a black county commissioner, a guy named Bobby Agee, because the black population was too dispersed to win a traditional district.
Did you say plumping?
Plumping. P-L-U-M.
Like ballpark Franks.
Well, plumping is what I
okay,
do when I
okay.
eat at
Okay.
most
I
meals.
just wanted to
I
make
get
sure I heard
dessert,
that.
So
Coke.
in 88,
Daddy-
they decided to break the voting laws
Yes.
just to elect a minority.
The federal judge made
well,
it fair.
there you go.
Hey, thanks. We
Yeah.
got to take a break, James. We'll be right back.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politician.
Welcome back into the program, everybody. Alabama Unfiltered Radio. Whew, what a day we have had. And I've done my research during the break, Sky. And yes, I won another $1,000.
All right.
So
Collect all the
is
valuable
the
prizes.
deal. Chilton County, Alabama, 1988. A federal court case resulted in a settlement that implemented a cumulative voting system for the county. Under the system, black voters were able to concentrate their votes, called plumping. We went over that before. The reason was the black population was too dispersed to win a traditional district. They couldn't draw a district that had everybody in enough to have a black district.
And that's saying something.
So you got to ask yourself, what kind of federal judge, who in the world would do that? Now, I asked what federal judge. It did not answer it to start with. Time article, news in 1994, said that there had been a problem because people voted more than 7 times. So I asked AI the second time, so what federal judge was this?
Drum roll, please.
And U.S. District Judge Myron Thompson.
Thompson, of course.
Was the federal judge who oversaw and approved this system.
That doesn't even sound real. If you wrote that into a screenplay, nobody would buy it.
No, and my friend Charlie, who's listening, says it's still in effect today.
And here's how it's in effect. He later in 2006 overturned his own decision, ordered the county to dismantle it. Then a federal appeals court reversed his order and left the cumulative vote. You get to vote 7 times.
Yeah.
You can vote. You can use all your 7 for the same guy.
Or can you split them up? One from column A, one from column B?
Yeah.
Okay. That's got to be fun at the old ballot, boss.
Why do we have voting laws if this is possible?
Oh, I know this one. I can answer
Oh, okay, Sky.
What you got, Sky?
Selective enforcement. That's why.
Exactly
I got one right.
We have goals, and if the laws stand in the way of our goals, then we will just go around the laws.
Yeah. And if you get out of line,
then you get reported.
Stomp down on you like.
Wow. Let's go to. We were going to talk about your trip to Israel, but we may have to do that. Not next week, but the next.
Yeah, right. No, I won't be here next week.
I won't be here next week either. Let's go to Reverend Precipitous. Welcome in, Reverend.
Rev.
From over here at the First Congregational Non-Denominational Holy Church of the Common Campground, 10 miles south of Huthatchee.
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Beason, you knew when you went talking about this subject matter that you kind of got jumped over there with James and everything, that you was going to get a call from me, didn't you?
I did. I'm sorry, Reverend.
Well, and there you are with that backup of that Eubank domino woman. Now, listen. You know that we control everything over here. We're at 72 countries with our evangelical ministering over here, okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, we are liable to get some laws passed just specifically for you and Miss Eubank talking along these lines now. You understand?
I'm waiting.
Now, listen here. We are the ones that have been trying for years to get this special status set up legislation, bipartisan, that's happening here to go forth, and we don't need y'all going out to 70,000 people stopping it. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Now, this is called, are you ready for the acronym?
I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Got it in my hand.
Act legalizing long-standing, official, widespread, edifying deference. Allowed. That's what it's going to be. Allowed. Y'all have, and if we need any help over here with any elections, we call the other pastors over in Chilton County. We get whatever we want. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Reverend.
They got that plumped up voting block. You can always count on.
You know that's what happens. Just like in the Massey thing, their voter rolls. Anybody who didn't vote got a ghost vote. That's how they steal it, and that's how that happens in Alabama. So you give the ghost voters 7 votes. Holy cow. I'm like, wait, how is that even possible?
It's not, but it did.
You don't think it should be that way,
I don't.
But it did.
but it do.
But it did in Alabama.
Can y'all believe there's a place in
No.
Alabama where you can vote 7 times?
No, I've never
Legally.
heard of such.
Legally.
I had no idea. Yeah, I've read Section 17 of the Code of Alabama, the vote, the whole vote section, because I'm working with that group that wants me to know what's in the law. That ain't in the law.
It's
But it gets better. The judge that started this
Myron, who
Later-
was for it.
later tried to get rid of it.
And then they
Even
wouldn't let
that's
him.
what we're saying. Even
They wouldn't let him,
Myron,
man.
almost 20 years later, is like, hey, this look, I can't. I'm having a hard time.
Next week on stupid judge decisions, you can't top it though. I mean, that's your closer right there.
And then the appeals court
I don't
says,
think.
no, you can
You
do
can.
They said,
that.
"Hold my beer."
Yeah, we'll show you.
Jeez.
That's
Unbelievable.
amazing. We can't really
No, we
beat
can't
that.
make this up.
But that explains.
This is why they make fun of us.
Yeah,
You
it
know
is.
that? It really is.
we
Yeah.
It's cumulative voting, and they said the problem was in the 92 election, people voted more than 7 times. Oh heavens! Oh, what a crime!
Well, if you're going to let me vote 6 times,
Why-
what's the difference?
Okay,
9,
wait.
12?
So who went to
Just
jail
go for it.
For voting
for
9
voting
times.
more than 7 times?
Well, by the time
think I got this
by the
one,
time you
too.
do 7 circles, I mean, why not a couple
Yeah.
more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the heck?
You're already there. You've gotten good at pulling the
Just
left.
vote for everybody. It doesn't matter.
It's unbelievable. Hey, we got to take a break till tomorrow. We'll try our best to be back. Ann, thanks for being here.
No problem.
See y'all.